like eating at night. Even all the festivities in Switzerland are like this. You get a lot of food and then you start eating that food, and you kind of do that until late in the evening, watching television with the family. So yeah, if I want to do that, I'll just do it like that comedian is doing it. So he eats like from 12 o'clock on until, whenever at night he wants to eat something, and then he stops eating again. So that one helped him to lose the weight. So excessive weight, we know from the people that get real old, is actually what causes illnesses. The people in Japan and stuff that are really, really old, they aren't fat in any way. They're really kind of slim actually. And also, do not eat until you are full is something they do. Just eat, and then you cannot eat anymore. Actually makes you sick. So yeah. So actually I then learned about the density of nutrition also. So I consider this one to be a diet as well, because that's how I started to take the algae pills, because I learned that the nutritional density in algae is like on a number like 30,000. And then way down you got somewhere the mushrooms, and then on numbers like 3,000 you have things like beetroot or the carrots. Stuff like parsley is a bit above carrots. So there you see why people put that on top of foods. It just has such a high nutritional density that it makes it worthwhile considering eating just a little amount of it. The mushrooms I also learned about, there is like, again, I always say 12, like more than 10 different kinds. So the Lingzi I stopped intaking. Well, actually, there is Lingzi, which is reishi. That one I just was using up lately. That one is the one that can heal the most of the illnesses that are around. But then I learned that the shiitake does something not so good. So you cannot just trust all the mushrooms. They're good. There must be more studies coming out on shiitake. I forgot what exactly it was that made me stop considering shiitake. I had the Lingzi, which is the reishi, and the shiitake. At all times I had them as a booster. I've just used them up. I actually need to buy some more. But yeah, if I consider what has got a high nutritional density, then of course I would rather buy these things than other stuff. And also I read the studies, like the Mediterranean diet. Well, it's not so much the tomato. That one has a lot of lectins that aren't good for blood type A people. And also, it's not the mozzarella or the pizza dough. It's actually the olive oil and the herbs. So olive oil, when you drink like 30 milliliters every week, or just 10 milliliters every day, that's what Andreas Moritz is doing. He's a doctor, and he recommends that gallbladder detox, which I wouldn't recommend because I watched such a lot of video of his, so that I found out that buying his products, like do the kidney detox and the liver detox, and then actually start with fasting ritual. You need to do with salt, Epsom salt, he says, but that one is just so gross. You can't just take the normal salt. Or xylitol to clean the intestines. You need to go to the toilet if you intake too much xylitol. Anyhow, so you can do it less harmful to your body. I found out that when in the next morning you have a lot of oil that you intake and some lemon or orange juice, which always helps, olive oil, digestion wise, then your gallbladder flows out a lot of liquids. And he says that stones that are in the seen a cut up open gallbladder with stones in it. So I actually think he wants to make money of this idea that taking in a lot of oil, especially olive oil, actually helps digestion system, because he does that every morning. He said how much. It's not just a spoonful more. You need to take more than goes into a salad, because then you have those effects of the gallbladder all of a sudden having to, digest all that oil. So that one then the gallbladder releases a lot of liquids that help the digestion. And when your digestion is proper, then you're in good mood, good health, and if you can have a good mood and good health for a long time, then you're actually getting really successful in whatever you do. You got a lot of energy. Yeah. So there is also a few other diets that I have been digging into, but these aren't so important. It's rather, if I were on an island and I can just have a few things with me, which ones would be the most effective? When you are into minimalism and you want to be healthy, you start just buying what is absolutely the creme de la creme of everything. So that's how I started buying sulfur, MSM, or the reishi, for example. That one has a huge effect. There's studies out, and now on the internet you can always go and kind of check. There is some health gurus out, but they sometimes get it wrong, just as this Ferreira guy did with the salt. Yeah. Hello again. So the so-called phytoestrogens are important as well, because the heart and the circulation system profits a lot. Soy has it in it, but that's why the Asians don't die because of these heart-related diseases like we do in the West. But then in macrobiotics, which is another, I had 5 books, macrobiotics, that I have gone through, and they actually don't just talk about foods, nutrition, they talk about lots of stuff. But actually then it was when I bought a ceramic knife and when I started to cut up the veggies and the fruits along their fiber, and also I stopped thinking about juices, because when you cut up something it starts to rot. There is a video out by Walter Bate, and he has mentioned studies in there. It's the milk video from Walter Veit, Veith. So when babies have the mother's milk directly from the breast, they are less prone to develop diabetes later on than children that get fed by a bottled milk. Even if it's the mother's milk, anything that gets into air, like when you chop up some veggie or fruit, or even put it into a smoother, a juicer, then they start to rot. That's actually what they do. But when you have it in your mouth, when you bite into an apple and you have it in your mouth, there is no chance for that apple to rot. So that's what I'm after. I first was still into these knives, because potatoes and stuff, you need to have a knife. So the ceramic knife there, it's not ionizing with a fruit or veggie because of the metal it consists of. The ceramic knife has no metal on it, so it's like biting into it, like with your teeth. Some sort of, there is no reaction happening that I actually don't want to have. So I wanted to say that phytoestrogens in soy, I learned in the macrobiotics book, is bad. Warm and cold, they don't suggest soy at all. I don't know why. It's just, macrobiotics, a little bit Asian, Eastern kind of a approach, but they don't recommend it, even though there it's eaten a lot. Maybe all the veggies outweigh the bads of the soy, and also they don't eat the soy like we do, like if it's meat, a lot of it, they eat a little bit, and then a lot of veggies, a lot of soup, a lot of, greens, rice. So in flaxseed, these phytoestrogens are also contained, so that's a good thing to do. The flaxseed. It's a problem. I had all the oils that you can think of, and in the end, I wasn't eating them. I just put them into the bathtub or onto me or my hair, because I found out that when you actually press some kind of a seed, you heat it up. Any kind of friction creates warmth. So when warmth is what makes those oils rot, then maybe not have any flaxseed oil. I used to buy that one, and they had it even on the canister. It was the only oil bottle that I had that was in a canister, so that no sunlight would touch it. But then also it said that oil rots away so quickly. Precaution. And that's just because those fatty acids, they do that. When you have there are so many oils around, like borage oil I had sandthorn oil, I had nightshade, candle oil. Well, there is a plant out that's a yellow plant, Nachtkerze, and it's night, Kerze, candle. So that plant too, the oils, that's a very fine and thin oil. When you put it onto your skin, it feels like, wow, putting on air. It's so thin, like almond oil is so thick, en contraire on the other side. So these oils, yes, you can buy all of them, but the very thing is they rot away so quickly, so you cannot buy all of them and then sort of start using this and that one, open the bottle and then you close it again, then even more air gets in there, the less empty the bottle gets. When you think it through. And of course, by time you cannot use up those bottles quickly enough, so I started just have one oil. So it's like I have olive oil and coconut oil. They don't really mind heat that much, and they're really good they're anti-inflammatory. The coconut oil, you can brush your teeth with that one and put it on your skin and eat it. And then the olive oil for the omega-9s is really needed. I need to buy some. So, I bought a cashmere sweater, so I couldn't buy the olive oil lately when I was in the town. I've been to visit the monk again. So, yeah. It's that video where you see all the trees lying on the alpine hiking path because they've fallen due to wind, strong winds. So yeah, when I heard that, study